It's just me, I'm shared with my iPod problem. I'm not really a welcome to the channel kind of guy, but you're very welcome to the channel. This fat 5th generation iPod I've shown before, it's reporting 232 gigabytes on a Rockbox. If I go, but it's got a weighter pod, which I've spoke about. Everything looks fine about this. Shiny back with a lady on a bar stool on it. If I press resume playback, it's going to play something. The issue is that the something sounds like this. That's Jake Thackray, but I know that's not what Jake Thackray should sound like, so let's end that torture, which we only seem to be able to end by unplugging that and shut down that. Now, I've got hopes of, I was reading somewhere that could well be that the headphone socket isn't grounded properly, so I think a dig in to have a look at that is on the cards. But I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about headphones a little bit. These are One Audio, which I bought this time last year. I don't know whether the onset of autumn means that my thoughts turn to headphones, but they're really decent. They've got a little bit of kind of elasticated cable, which tells you that they're good. I bought these because I saw someone with them and just asked them about them. They're described as being professional headset, though I don't know whether they start stretching the definition of professional a lot. They've got a 3.5mm jack. Apparently that's a left channel, that's a right channel, or vice versa, which I'm not sure I knew. And they I think they cost me about 30 quid. They are my standard headphones if I want anything with a bit of quality. But I have to say, the theory of marginal utility bangs the, oh, that's not very professional, is it? Theory of marginal utility comes in here. The difference between any earphones, headphones, whatever you want to call them, and none is massive. So these, which I've just unplugged from the iPod I've been listening to this morning, which is that one again, and these, which I've just picked out from the iPad that I'm recording this on, they're perfectly serviceable. And if you're having a situation where you're sitting in a chair, like I just scrape into the boomer category, so sitting in a chair is one of my favourite things to do, or listening to something in bed, having one set of headphones, however cheap and nasty they look, and I mean, those are Panasonic, so they're not absolutely dreadful. These are they're PS2 headphones, so again, not absolutely dreadful, but not top of the shop, but they will do in most circumstances. But being a kind of late blooming boomer, I don't know whether it's a youth thing, but I always liked as a kid the idea of being just cut off from the world with a massive pair of headphones. I think as you get into your teen and your 20s, I was probably inflicting my music on other people more than anything else. I once put a record on in a student flat and left the house and didn't come back till the next day, which, I mean, very antisocial behaviour, obviously. But this little dude, which I suspect may have come with the headphones I've just shown you, is the secret for unlocking lots more headphone options. It's obviously a 3.5mm jack that goes in and invites you to use some of the fatter, chunkier headphones, which were the norm in the 70s and 80s, and you can still get them relatively cheaply now. And because I'm a bit of a nostalgia fan, I have actually bought a few. I was in a public house recently wanting to listen to some YouTube videos or some such, and I've my new phone's only about 2 or 3 months old, and it's obviously second hand to me, but it is without a headphone jack. It's the first phone I've had without a headphone jack, and I do find it a little bit infuriating. So for the purposes of this demo, I should really be using Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon or something similar. Lock switches on, always a thing, but I'm not, and obviously I don't want to give money to whichever of the members of Pink Floyd is the bad one. I don't think it's Roger Waters, is it Nick Mason? Anyway, let's not get into that territory. Let's find something I put on here just last night for the. It's not, and the thing is, it's not a very high tech recording at all, but it's a tape of my mother talking about the time that she met my father. And if anyone owns a copyright on this, it's either her or it's my sister who recorded it. Sorry I'm going on for a while, but headphone set number one are these Pioneer SE205, which I picked up on eBay. They call these cans? That one is rattling, which is an inauspicious start, but I'm going to put them there. I'm going to slot this into there like that, and then I'm going to slot this into there like that, and I'm going to stop it from playing whatever it is currently playing. Yes, erase. Play that. Hope I'm not going to copyright trouble with that. Anyway, here we go.
It was June the 19th, and there was a dairy ball. The Winter Gardens put on balls, as they call them, every now and then, about once a month. And they started after the normal dance had finished at 10 o'clock, and they went on till 2. And at 2 o'clock, there were buses outside the gardens waiting to take people to Squires Gate, Bolton, etc. Well, Rona and I and Nana went to this dairy ball. It was quite busy, and we're all standing by a pillar, just viewing the scenery.
I do like that when you pause on this Add Weight to Pod theme, it changes the hue of the picture, and you can tell it's paused, very clearly pause button there. Sometimes I'm playing something and I can't tell whether it's paused or not. Now, the next headphones for our test are these. Let me move these out of the way. These are again Pioneers. They are the SE30As, and gloriously for these I've got a spec sheet that looks a bit like that, so I can tell you that they have a matching impedance of 4 to 16 ohms, a frequency response of 20 to 20,000 hertz, 2 volts per channel input, 115 decibels sensitivity at 400 hertz, and these are all just numbers to me, to be honest with you. Measured with B&K's artificial ear model 4153, which is good to know. And they have a retractile coiled cord extensible up to 16.4 feet. So again, if you're looking to be on a tube or some such and signal to people that you don't want to be disturbed, then these are the ones. And this is the aforementioned cable, which just looks like it's something off an old telephone. Again, I will unplug the first lot, plug that in, move those out of the way, and give you lovely people a sample of what that sounds like. Here we go. Let's go.
When this bloke comes walking up to us, he was tall and he was blonde, and I thought he was coming to ask me to dance, so I pushed myself forward and he took me to dance, and we danced around and we talked about different things, and then after the dance he said, can we have another dance? And we spent the rest of the evening together. When it came 2 o'clock, we went and got in the bus to Bolton, and he took me home to Bolton. He had no idea where I lived, of course. When we got home, I said to him, how are you going to get home? Well, he had no idea. So I said, well, I'll take you home. and let myself in at the front door, and just at the right hand side of the front door at Uplands was a toilet, and in the toilet my dad kept 2 shotguns. Well,
I'm sure you've got 2 shotguns in your toilet as well. My grandfather, my mother's mother, not my mother's mother, my mother's father was a farm and butchering type of guy, and therefore the presence of 2 shotguns in the downstairs toilet should not have been alarming to anyone, but I'm sure they were alarming to my dad. My mum's been dead nearly 20 years now, and my dad died earlier this year, so all the parties in this story are no longer there. I've got one more set to throw in, if I could just retrieve my headphone ejector, actually that's not the word, adapter, and then I'm going to bang on these sharp 2-way stereo headphones, HP 400H. Probably merit a video all by themselves. I'm sure they're feeling a bit left out to be tagged on to the end of this video. But again, having got the box, we've got some technical data and specification. 9cm woofer, 5cm tweeter, frequency range 30 to 20,000 hertz, output tone pressure sensitivity 100 decibels. I think these are a slightly higher spec than the ones I've just shown you. I don't know if we can see any difference in terms of output, but look at those, they are absolutely enormous. There's a volume control on each individual can. I'm going to use the word can again. They are absolutely massive, yeah, again, this is not quality in terms of telling the difference, but let's see whether my dad got shot on his first date.
I don't know how Keith, perhaps we went to use it all, I don't know, but anyway, he saw these 2 shotguns, and I think they put the fear of God into him. But at any rate, I took him outside into the garage. My dad always left the car keys in the car, he didn't lock it up, so I backed out and took him to Preston, and when we got to just past the Jaguar garage, I said, where do you want to be? And he said, oh, this will do fine. So I dropped him off and turned round and went back to Blackpool. On the way back, there were 2 RAF lads hitching a lift, and I stopped and picked them up and gave them a lift to Kirkham, then dropped them off.
So my mother not only picked up my dad in the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, but also picked up 2 servicemen as well, just for good measure. And they lived happily ever after, I believe, is the end to that story. So I would recommend, if you want to get one of these, that's the kind of focus of the story really, and open up the world of retro headphones. All of those were around the 15-20 quid mark. This has been a long video. Thank you for your patience if you got all the way through to it. I'd just like to quick shout out to Elite Obsolete Electronics, who gave me a follow the other day, much appreciated. As I say, do like you to listen and watch as many of these as you can. Hope they are useful to you. I'll maybe do a more professional test at another time. I'll probably need to fix this guy. I might even record myself trying to sort that one out. But for now, enjoy your music, enjoy your lives. This is me signing off. All the best.